Hello, everybody. I didn't check any of my audio and also forgot to update the thing. Yeah, doing good. Doing good already. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome back to more Book of Hungry Names. Hopefully, we're at the end here because this has been going on for a really long time. Way longer than I thought it was going to be going on for. I've enjoyed every single second of it, but I'm excited to get to the end. So if you missed yesterday, we talked about book Shattered Nation and a Gehenna War. It's already up on YouTube if you missed it. Go watch that there. Me and Outstar just, talked about how cool we think the books are. And yes, what did we miss? We're trying to get into the cairn. Right now, we're trying to take out Eater of Names. And right now, of course, the cairn is under the influence of the Answering Tiger. And that spirit's specialty is making false realities. And we're inside some sort of like weird hotel thing in the cairn where, all the spirits are, pretending like this is a real thing. And it's creepy and strange, as has most of the things doing with Answering Tiger have been weird and strange. But we came across a room that was filled with animals in cages, and that's where I stopped it because that upsets me. Yes, and I wanted to check them all to make sure none of the animals are Fomori, and if any of them are Fomori, I will cry. Watch out. Smart, Podge says. After a few minutes of examination, it's clear that this isn't some kind of Fomor factory like what David Beninsky was running. They're just lost dogs being used as target practice. That's awful. I can't stand this, Melody says. Let's get them out. She starts popping open the cages and the others follow her lead. The dogs predictably shrink into the farthest corners of their prisons. Animals are smart enough to fear Garu. You wave everyone back to the shooting gallery, and after a minute, the animals start to leave the kennel. We can't waste more time here, Podge says. A hallway off the shooting gallery ends in a stairwell. Cheap wooden stairs lead up to the false hotel's second floor. You can feel a faint vibration at each step as machines labor around you. The air smells like blood and rot. Flashlight, you ask Podge, because he has the best flashlights. My boyfriend has the best flashlights. He hands you a good one. It seems to illuminate nothing, just turn the blackness a sickly gray. You feel like you're passing into a void as you head up the steps. Shouts above. You tense, but they sound almost jubilant. The others jostle you from behind. What is it? Melody asks. Somewhere below, Nin whines. Then even her echoes vanish instantly. You look back, they're all gone. Great. More laughter from above and now lights. Hell of a thing, Podge says, chuckling. He's covered in blood, but only some of it is his. Mate, stop laughing, Elton says. We almost died. Oh, for God's sake. But we didn't, Melody says. You see her now. She stopped halfway up the steps. She's trying to stuff Nin, back in Hamid form, into a parka. Still, God, what a nightmare. The Philodox shakes her head. We're lucky we stopped Eater of Names come on, guys. When we did, before he turned that evil book of his into a roadmap for every other Black Spiral dancer. The question now, Elton says, is what do we do with the Answering Tiger? Just because he's captured doesn't mean he's harmless. Do we find a way to destroy him? Sierra, there you are. Come on, guys. And then you feel it again, the Answering Tiger working on your mind, probing you, trying to know what you think and how... Oopsies, pressed my keyboard because I'm getting irritated. No, I hope it's something silly on my keyboard. Then you feel it again, the Answering Tiger working on your mind, probing you, trying to know what you think and how you'll react. You remember your first meeting with Melody, how she told you to fight the Triple King with who you are. This isn't like that. This is a demon trying to read you to understand you so he can make an illusion that pleases you. The sensation is disgusting. Time to put on an I Love the Litany performance. I know what you're doing, demon, but the Garu Nation won't fall for your tricks again. Time to put my super righteous pants on. You know what? You know what who's doing? Melody asks. What should we do with the Answering Tiger? Elton says. What tools do we have to exploit it? Yes, Podge says. What are the assets we could deploy? What rights or gifts or talismans? You really think you understand what's real and what's an illusion, don't you, Sierra? Catherine says as your fake pack mates fade away, still trying to get you to tell them and the Answering Tiger what rights or gifts or talismans you might be able to deploy against the Bane. Their demands slowly fade, but Catherine remains. That's interesting. Didn't you die at the Academy of Music, you ask? The tiger still lives, Catherine says. Enigmatic. I hate this. I hate this so much. The WTF arc, I thought we're never going to get over it. It's going to follow us right to the very end. What kind of twisted necromancy am I looking at here, Catherine? Twisted is an apt word for this. Melody is the necromancer, Catherine says, and in fact, I'm not even the necromanced. I'm not a ghost. Imagine me as part of the worm that seeks even its own destruction. Meaning, I am independent of the answering tiger, the shade, or whatever it is, says. You open your mouth, but Catherine waves you to silence. We don't have time to play 20 questions, the spirit says. Listen, Eater of Names is above, working to destroy the cairn before the answering tiger devours it. The tiger is on it like a leech, sucking away at the last of its spiritual energy. If he succeeds, he'll be strong enough to make his lies real, to eat this whole valley, maybe the whole world. If Gaia really is dead, there's nothing to stop him from making his fantasies fully real. Wait, so our choices are to let the tiger eat the cairn or let Eater of Names destroy it? This sucks. That's the most ragabash answer. It sucks very much, Catherine says. But there is a third way. Think about what the answering tiger wants, to make his illusions real. So he wants to reify his illusions? Fine. We let him. What is his greatest work? Before you can answer, Catherine cuts you off, you notice, the figment says. His great illusion is that we won, that the Broadbrook Garu defeated Eater of Names at the Battle of Graves Farm. I've watched that reality unfold for 5 years. It's better than your world, Sierra. Let's give the answering tiger the cairn. Let's break his will, and let's fix everything. For a moment, the audacity of Catherine's plan threatens to overwhelm you. This is a trick. Go away, Bane Fragment, before I rip you apart. God. You fool, Catherine snaps. I'm the only chance you have to save your own mind as well as the cairn. Last chance to vanish before I start ripping into you, Bane, you say. A snarl, a flash of blue light, and Catherine is gone, but her voice lingers. Perhaps you're more clever than the others, Sierra, but the answering tiger is still strong enough to fool your allies. You should help them snap out of it unless you want to face a black spiral dancer alone. Maybe I do. And this person who's part of the answering tiger is talking some good points about working for the answering tiger. I know. It's like so, and it's like not even like good. Like the answering tiger needs to take a class on manipulation because unless they have wibbly wobbly mind stuff going on, their charisma is lower or as low as mine. And suddenly you're at the top of the steps in a sprawling chamber full of anaconda thick wires that make footing treacherous. Behind you is a heavy security gate, a complicated piece of machinery that should be down and locked right now. But you have no idea where this building's security is. Antique CRT screens flicker on the walls. They show possibilities. In one, Eater of Names persuades you to serve him at the banks of the Connecticut River. In another, you and the Stormcat kill him with an electrical instrument of great power and subtlety derived from the Levenbolt ring. In a third, Eater of Names succeeded in seating a Galliard with his dream self, and now Ashley/Hiram rule Northampton as a two-headed wolf goddess, wreathed in living song. In many, you never came to the valley, but some other werewolf arrived to shake the Broadbrook survivors out of their lethargy and fight for Gaia. Haha, get it? Because, you know, you could be lots of different. I think that's good. Kyle's a genius. Your companions start congratulating themselves on a job well done. Hell of a fight. Oh, we're doing this again. Any fight you can walk away from isn't that bad, right? Melody says, dusting off Black Tarn's ragged dress. Still, God, what a nightmare. And we're not done. Let's make sure Lucinda and the others are okay. Then we can start dealing with this whole stats mess. You have the files? Podge holds up nothing as if he's holding up a USB. Yeah, we're ready to blow this thing all the way apart, he says. Evelite, Chemicon, the Provincial Council, they're all fucked. Let's go. At first, Elton is smiling along with the others, but then you see him blink in confusion. He looks your way as if trying to confirm you're real. Let's get out of here, Podge says. They're leaving, Elton says as everyone else heads back towards the security gate and the stairs. Oh, no, I don't have any rage, do I? You look around for Catherine, but she's gone. Stop, Elton snaps, grabbing Melody's hand. That's a mistake. She yelps as if she's never seen him before, and though back in Hamid form, delivers an uppercut that splits his lip and knocks the big Shadow Lord backwards into you. His snarl rumbles deep in his throat as he rocks back up and glares at Melody, barely keeping himself in control. The tiger's still playing tricks on us, Podge says, even after we kicked his ass. Oh my god. We should have stuck him in my sister's cosmic jail, Melody says. Nin and Black Tarn in their lupus forms crouch warily. We can start figuring out how to do that tomorrow, Podge says. Right now, let's just get out of here. It's like they've already forgotten Elton. They start to leave again. We need our companions, Elton tells you. But then he falls silent, licking his bloody lip, because he's not sure what to do. Neither are you. The tiger has done a number on your packmates. On the other hand, you've seen through both of the tiger's deceptions tonight, at the estate and just a few moments ago. Do I have no rage? Am I rageless? My god, I'm rageless. I'm in my Glabro form still. At least it says I am. Elton, talk to them. Elton, talk to them. Because I'm terrible. You got tricked, he snaps. It's me and Sierra, obviously. Prove it, Podge says. By what? Cooking you with 11-bolt? Elton snaps. You didn't win? Turn back around. Maybe we should tell them something only we know, you say. Wait, you can't be here, Melody says. You've already left. None of that happened, Elton says, getting frustrated. Sierra is right here because none of you... Test her, Melody suggests. Good idea, Podge says. Then he pulls out an automatic and shoots you in the shoulder. My boyfriend just shot me. Oh my god. We're gonna have to break up over this. You stumble backward as Elton snarls and rushes Podge. The Arun hits him once, and then Elton's fist breaks his jaw. But the Theurge hasn't lost control. He makes sure you don't fall, then both of you scramble back. Confused and angry, Podge shoots again. He's already retreating, and when the ricochets start to sound like return fire, they all flee rather than battle the tiger's phantoms. Bloody great, Elton says. We're going to be tracking those idiots down all day tomorrow if we don't die in the next hour. Regenerate as much as I can, though I'll lose the wolf. I don't have it. I got one. Yeah. Nope. I'm keeping my wolf. Nope. Not regenerating. Best boyfriend. Best boyfriend shot me right in the shoulder. He's a great shot. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. The shouts of your companions fade out below, and then you turn and ask Melody what she remembers about the cairn. Wait, no you don't. Melody isn't here. She just left, convinced she had already won. You shake your head. Sierra? Elton says. Is that you? Yeah, you say. You're pretty sure you're you. You're on the second floor, outside an atrium that doesn't quite match what you remember of the real hotel's interior layout. This floor is heated, and cheap lockers line one wall. Elton hangs up his greatcoat on a peg next to the lockers. The coat immediately falls apart and drips onto the floor. I hate this so bad. I hate this. You hang up your leather coat, then you see all the rips and holes and just let it drop into a shapeless mass next to Elton's shredded pile of coat. A guard, finally a guard, watches the double door that leads into the atrium. He reaches for his taser when Elton approaches, but the Theurge is too quick. He snatches the weapon away. You should leave, Elton says. The guard runs. Shouts from the atrium ahead of you. The double doors bang open, and two middle manager types run past you, yelling into their phones, so focused on business stuff that they don't even notice you. My god, this is the worst. Should we grab one and interrogate her? No need, Elton says, peering through the round porthole window of the double doors. There are more in here. Elton pushes the double doors open and you hurry in after him. Here, at last, you come to the instrumentation that has allowed Eater of Names to conduct his work. He is just one creature after all, however clever. He lacks the essentially transcendent nature that defines the answering tiger or even the Stormcat. Here are his hands, his tools, his emanations, 100 workers at 100 laptops, Jesus, in a dingy open-floor office plan. Even the thick cables and antique screens everywhere can't hide the essentially cheap and mundane nature of his operation. The workers do not look at you, they just type. Some have headsets and field calls speaking in English, Spanish, Russian. A few walk the floor plan with the swift, angry steps of railway bulls checking on the work. The work is frantic. These aren't drones or fanatics. Those nearest you freeze in normal human fear when they realize something is wrong, when they realize something has come that should not be here. A few make frantic calls or hit hardwired buttons under their desks. Guards appear almost immediately on the far side of the room, but they too just have tasers. They'd be fools to attack, and they're not fools. Come here, Sierra, a synthetic voice says. Let me look at you. The crackling hiss reminds you of the drone, or clear, but it sounds weak and frail. Not sure what else to do, you walk past workers who evince terror, confusion, bewilderment, vague aesthetic dissatisfaction with your disheveled state, until you stand before a huge tank of brass and glass. It's not so different from what you saw in Dr. Vandegrift's laboratory and with some of the same maker's marks on its age-worn components. The tank has been loaded onto a forklift and secured for transport, but the guy in the lift scrambles out of the cockpit when he sees you, and 2 technicians back off. The thing inside, half visible in the cloudy liquid, should be dead. It is neither a man nor a wolf, but you can see parts of both. It is like a werewolf corpse frozen halfway through some calamitous partial change, then dissected, then forgotten. Hello, Sierra. Elton. The speaker is made of brass, like something out of an old Victrola. My name is Ben Hutchinson. You know me as Breaker of Wings. Or at least, I hope you do. Yeah, he was Eater of Names' like, mentor or whatever. A phlegmy laugh. I was quite a terror as a young man. But the worm turns inside all of us, and here I am, in the end. Great. Great. That's awesome. A skull with patchy hair, mostly canine, bobs your way in the cloudy fluid, and a human eye, very blue, fixes its gaze on you. The barriers are breaking down, the speaker says. Obviously, a radiation-blasted werewolf corpse is not supposed to be here in the secretary pool, but communication wires have gotten crossed, and a once orderly process is in chaos. Radiation blasted, Alton says. Don't be afraid, Shadow Lord, the speaker says. I'm not real enough to poison you, but that's the thing. No one knows what's real or false anymore, you see. Look at the workers. You don't like taking your eyes off the shifting werewolf slurry in the tank, but Elton says, they're not all real. You glance back and realize how many of the workers are like the shades in the lobby of the hotel. Hang on, my dog is scratching.
Huddy. Huddy, stop scratching yourself.
Doing it for attention. You glance back and realize how many of the workers are like the shades in the lobby of the hotel. The moment you start to concentrate on them, they become insubstantial, their actions rote and meaningless. And now you can hear something more clearly, a steady mechanical thump like a huge drill somewhere above. Eater of Names has fought this battle so many times, you see. Ben, Breaker of Wings, Wings of Smoke, the undead thing in the tank, twists his face into a fanged smile. But you can hear the pain in his voice. He's done it so many times he doesn't know which world is real. But with Gaia dead, there is no longer anything to distinguish the real and the false. Only power. Only will. You know, you somehow completely forgot this part. I don't see, how could you forget it? It's not like, this is such a linear, very simple book, color by the numbers. Oh my God. Who are these people, though? The real ones, I mean. What is Eater of Names doing here? They're doing the unimportant but necessary work, the ruin of Ben Hutchinson says. That's what humans are best at. They make sure money flows in and poison flows out. Though now they've learned too much and they'll have to go. Even the false ones like me will have to go. False ones, you say? I'm not the real Wings of Smoke. I thought Breaker of Wings. The speaker says, he died at Vermont Yankee, fighting the Broadbrook Garu. And even the fragmented thing Eater of Names kept alive eventually perished and rotted. No, what you're speaking to now is a figment, like that painting. And his eyes fix on Elton. I have been pulled into the real from the answering tiger, and now he's trying to pull me back. Miss? A pained-looking technician says with an apologetic glance your way. Another appears frozen by delirium. The third is unreal. Mr. Fane really wants us to move this machine into storage. If you'll step away, please. The drumming overhead grows louder. You tug your hood up so the technicians don't look at you too closely. All right, because I'm still in Glabro form. What is that banging? It sounds like the roof is about to collapse. Eater of Names is trying to stop the answering tiger, the ruined thing says. The tiger is devouring the last power left in this cairn. He needs that power to make his lies real. And when he is done, who will be able to tell true from false? Certainly not me, a creature made of his lies. Eater of Names is trying to destroy the cairn before the tiger is done feeding. So you see the problem. Your choices are either to stop him and watch the answering tiger devour everything and replace it with himself, or let Eater of Names destroy your cairn. But then the banging overhead drowns out all sound for a second. An alarm sounds, a synthetic boop boop, and people start filing out of the false hotel. The lights turn red. Where? Elton asks. I will offer you a lesson in the nature of oblivion, Garu, the thing in the tank says. Some things are only useful when they're empty. Elton blinks and you see him picturing where you are now in relation to what he remembers of the cairn. If the trees were around us, Elton says, we'd be standing in the middle of the old grove. He reaches his hand up as if to feel something. You understand a lesson that few Garu grasp, Breaker of Wings says. There is a power in emptiness, the void, the thing that is not. The artificial voice dissolves into static even as the hammering grows louder. You appear unwell, Elton says, eyes shining as he looks from the tank to the ceiling. I doubt you care. Use me for. The speakers crackle. The tiger is calling me back. Return to him. Power to fight. The tank dissolves and the ruined five-form thing that was Breaker of Wings sloshes onto the ground. His clawed hands spasm and his one good eye rolls until he dissolves into reeking filth. Delicious. Delightful. We can't waste any more time. We gotta come on, guys. We gotta get going here. This is all awful. Every time we stop to learn more information about what's happening, I just get more confused because I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Sierra's dumb. We're a match made in dumb heaven. I think the next room is the guard room, Elton says. Is it quicker to just go back? You look around the deserted room, but then a hammering blow like the night of the stolen moon's lunar mace knocks everyone to the ground. The rumbling grows and cracks spread across the carpeted floor, revealing cheap pine, naughty pine, and even cheaper wiring as the floor splits. The ceiling goes next, and then you can't tell the difference as the hammer blows shake the fake hotel apart. Elton shouts something you can't hear, but he falls too. Sparks rain down from exploding fluorescent lights, but you see a brighter light above, the sick green radiance of balefire, and a huge machine, hammering on the Umbra, threatening to rip a hole in both worlds. At least you have Squirrel. But at least you have Squirrel. He's helping you balance, though he won't help if a brick falls on your head. No. Wait, I'm pretty clever. Though I've rallied my pack before and they might be getting worn down, I work with Elton to get all of us to safety. I'm really smart, guys. I'm like super clever. Totally. Let's do it. Climb, you shout, pointing to a broken section of sloping floor. You see Elton scramble in that direction, but then the ceiling splits open, showering you with debris. You lose sight of him, but you keep shouting, trying to guide them out. That's when the ground starts moving under your feet. You jump from one chunk of debris to the next, then start to run as the cheap wooden floor slides down an incline. You fight to stay balanced, but when you're plunged into darkness for a moment, you miss your leap and the churning vortex of splintered wood and broken bricks swallows you up. An explosion of light as burning incandescence burst, showering you with sparks, and you scramble up out of the avalanche, dodging a falling beam and scramble, bleeding but still alive, onto a splintered door. The door slides for maybe 100 feet before banging into the concrete building across from the inside-out Hotel Northampton. Elton is buried in the rubble nearby, but from the tone of his shouts, pissed off, rather demanding for a man in his circumstances, you don't think he's seriously injured. I'm the best. You retrieve the magic wand, because I can't say that, before it vanishes between two broken planks, then look at what's left of the false Hotel Northampton. It's been hollowed out, so only part of its two wings remain. The entire center of the 5-story brick building has degorged itself onto Main Street to become a river of wreckage that still flows sluggishly in both directions like lava. Smoke boils out of the wreckage, but you can see the crescent moon through the haze, a huge cradle moon, yellow as old teeth. The destruction has exposed the astounding infrastructure that Eater of Names constructed within the false hotel. The rickety metal framework, damaged but not toppled by the building's collapse, resembles an old radio tower with a spherical cage of metal and bone in the center. You recognize the metal girders from that truck you snuck into with Elton, the one the cult of Fenris attacked. And you recognize that metal that forms the cage. The Bane you fought at Chemicon wore that metal as armor. Technicians in silver suits operate ancient-looking equipment that appears to have been taken from Dr. Vandegrift's laboratory. The strange mandalas usually and unusual metal shapes you saw there have been welded together into some kind of drill. A 10-foot needle that, as you watch, hammers into the apparently empty center of the cage. The sound is deafening. You can feel Gaia screaming as the drill rips into the heart of the cairn, trying to kill it. Fungal growths, damaged by the structural collapse but now returning with impossible haste, crawl up the machinery. You remember those fungal blooms from GRC Media, but now they move with purpose. For half a second, as a transformer explodes and illuminates the machinery with a shower of sparks, you see the fungal blooms take on a shape of a huge tiger that crawls up the metal tower. Great. But then the appearance of order is gone, and it's just blind hunger reaching for the center of that cage, the heart of the cairn. Fungal blooms crawl onto the cage, and that's when you see Eater of Names. The black spiral dancer drifts over the ruined hotel, fully armored, wreathed in balefire. When he sees the fungi, he vaporizes the nearest pitch with his vile green flames, then flickers back as the tiger reaches for him. The answering tiger, despite his dreams of godhood, is like other Banes, and needs a host to act on this world. The problem is that the tiger is now trying. Woo! Woo! Cloudy. Cloudy. Stop. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Bubba. Every time I read this, my dog is unhappy. When he sees the fungi, he vaporizes the nearest pitch with his vile green flames, then flickers back as the tiger reaches for him. The answering tiger, despite his dreams of godhood, is like other Banes and needs a host to act on this world. The problem is that the tiger is now trying to seize control of the metal tower, and it's twisting dangerously. Another hammer blow from the drill knocks you sideways and renews the flow of Rubble River. Tiger is too spooky for the dog. Always. He absolutely hates it. A metal limb reaches out and wraps around Eater of Names, who howls in rage and starts burning through it with his balefire. Hell of a thing, Catherine says, appearing beside you. God, I'm so sick of her. How bad am I injured? Bad. All right. Ugh. I regenerate as much as I can, though I'll lose the wolf. Ugh. Your wounds stop hurting, though now you feel spiritually diminished. Great. That's awesome. Catherine is covered... Am I not in Glabro form still? Am I? I am. Oh, Jesus. Catherine is covered in semi-transparent or missing patches, as if the answering tiger has bitten away parts. To redigest her like he swallowed up Breaker of Wings, you assume. He needs all the power he can to destroy that drill and eat the heart of the cairn. Catherine, Elton says. He's buried up to the waist in wreckage, his face bloody but regenerating. His eyes are huge as he looks at his dead wife. But you also see the skepticism on his face. He knows this can't really be her. Hello, dear, Catherine says, gritting her teeth as parts of her fade in and out. It's time to fix the mistakes we made at the Battle of Graves Farm. Most of the humans who fled the open plan office have escaped, but some were Fomori. They shine from inside with balefire. And great Gaia, that's a lot of them. But now they're fighting each other as Eater of Names fights the answering tiger. One gets too close to Catherine and her knife snaps out, disappears into a woman's brain, and vanishes into her blue dress as the corpse drops, vomiting radioactive green fire. That's awesome. She appeared to me before with this speech. Yes, she already gave me the speech. She did, Elton asks. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't really have a second. I didn't have a second. We were a little busy. Because she believes I'm just a trick of the answering tiger, Catherine says. That's an easy thing to believe. Catherine waits until the echoes from another drill hammering die down, then says, Listen to me, Elton. The answering tiger fooled us once, but he has also fooled himself. Broadbrook awaits in all its glory and majesty inside the tiger. I have lived there and lived again for the past 5 years. Right now, it's only an illusion. I am only an illusion. But if the answering tiger can claim the cairn's power, don't you see what will happen? The tiger's illusions will become real. Broadbrook will live again. She raises her hand and it crackles with electricity. And then I will drive my fist into that demon's brain, lobotomize him and make him ours. Broadbrook will rise again. We can do this, Elton. You and me and Sierra. In the distance, howling, that's Nin. Have they figured out they've been tricked? Are you being tricked right now? Another deafening hammer blow from the drill, and Catherine flickers out for a moment. Elton looks to you. You try to clear your head despite the smoke, the hammering, the Fomori ripping each other apart as the worm turns on itself. Nin howls, and the whispers in your mind. This is the question I want to ask. I'm not sure why I would be asking Catherine, but this is what I want. What's the best way to save the cairn? You consider your options, and then you discover that someone much smarter than you can consider those options for you. Forgive me for manifesting as a thought only you can hear, Sierra, but every drill hit is like a hammer against my ribcage. Oh, God. Are you okay? You asked the empty, dusty air. I would say that I'm dying, but the fall I experienced after the Battle of Grace Farm is more... Oh, is this Answering Tiger speaking to me? Is this Answering Tiger speaking to me? Who's speaking to me? Is this Stormcat? Who's speaking to me? I don't know who's speaking to me. I would say that I'm dying, but the fall I experienced after the Battle of Grace Farm is far more terrible than the possibility of extinction at the metal hands of that Black Spiral Dancer. You want to destroy Answering Tiger? This has to be Stormcat, right? You nod, looking rather grave and heroic, I have to say, despite the dust and ash coating every inch of you. So let me explain what you must do. First, destroy Eater of Names and that damn drill. Sabotage and slaughter are where Garou excel, and I trust you can figure out what to do. But then you and your pack who have yes figured out that they got tricked and are racing back will have to confront the Answering Tiger. The moment the drill stops, the Answering Tiger will try to feed and become a god. I confess that I'm not sure if he can, but he can certainly destroy the cairn by trying. At that point, you and I will have to hold your pack together with the honor and courage that you've earned over the last 2 years. Do you believe you're strong enough? Do you believe they are a true pack or just werewolves flung together out of happenstance and desperation? Only you can answer that question, Sierra. All I can tell you is that the struggle will not be easy. And if we manage to stop the Answering Tiger, well, that's when it gets easy, because he's invested all of his power into this gambit. I will burn out his heart. I swear this by thunder and stag. Yep, we must defend our cairn. We kill Eater of Names and ruin his drill before he destroys our cairn, then banish or destroy the Answering Tiger before he devours everything. Yep. The dead have committed some portion of this evil of the night, sleep and love the other. For what is not the sleeper responsible? What converse does he hold and with whom? Duna Barnes, Nightwood. God. You look to your companions, making sure to catch each of their eyes. You will need all of them to stop Eater of Names, and then to prevent... I have no rage. And then to prevent the Answering Tiger from getting exactly what he wants. Melody stands ahead of everyone else, determined to save the cairn. And I too am ready, Sierra. I will try to guard you from the tiger's deceit, but I can't do much against a Black Spiral Dancer. The Bane has abandoned subtle mind games in favor of seizing physical control of the dead forest. Broken tree trunks explode into fungal blooms that, even as you watch, smash into the technicians operating the drill machine. But the Answering Tiger is so powerful that he has simultaneously seized control of parts of the metal framework. The steel twists into tiger claws, slashing at Eater of Names as he drifts through the air and shouts for his workers to finish the job. I may be an extrusion of that Bane, Catherine says, flickering in and out of visibility, but I am still Garou. Her eyes narrow and glyphs scorch the ground around her bare feet as she compels the Answering Tiger's servants to rip into those of Eater of Names. At least you think that's what she's doing. It's an orgy of smoking green violence all over the tower. That's a great sentence. Another hammer blow. You feel the barrier between worlds splitting, and you know that you have less than a minute to act. You must stop that drill before it shatters the heart of the cairn. 2 silver-suited technicians operate the drill. An Eater of Names watches over them. You're too late, Eater of Names shouts down at you. The cairn is doomed. I'm going to silence every dream you've ever had. I'm going to silence this whole fucking world. Nothing but noise and ruin, Sierra. That's all this world is ever going to be. You're not going to be doing anything once I'm done with you, Hiram. Yeah, with my no rage. In my human skin, my glabro skin. Another hammer blow drowns out your words. Eater of Names howls and shifts into his Krynos form, his suit flowing for a moment like molten metal before reforming. His clawed gauntlets burn with green radiance, spilling radioactive filth onto the broken bricks. You study his armor and remember what the Book of Hungry Names revealed of its weaknesses. You hope your knowledge will be enough. It won't be. Most of the Fomori are killing each other as the Answering Tiger and the Black Spiral Dancer wage proxy war. But when Eater of Names points your way, several break off and charge you. There are so many that you're forced to circle around the rubble and approach the tower from an angle where it's covered in broken heaps of brick, rather than using the main staircase. As the Fomori lumber your way, several Bane-infected humans loyal to the Answering Tiger hit them, and a vicious worm-on-worm battle breaks out. Can I sabotage the drill? I would like to sabotage the drill, please. The size of the machine is so incredible that it takes you momentarily aback. A huge tower hidden under all 5 stories of the false hotel, a central spherical cage of metal and block, and a huge drill apparatus halfway up with a command console level. You're going to have to reach the command console, which is guarded by Fomori, but if Elton can get you up there, you might be able to do something. You see a laptop bolted to the console, which you should be able to use if you're smart enough. Whoops. And if that doesn't work, there's always just throwing switches until the whole thing breaks. Either operation will take not just brains, but steady nerves to carry out the operation as Fomori try to rip you apart. That's me. Brains and nerves, baby. Oh. Okay. I really don't want to take on Eater of Names in my Glabro form with my machete. But I don't not want to do that as well. Eater of Names is floating overhead. He's positioned himself to prevent anyone from charging up the steps to the command console. He's technically out of reach, but as he drifts, he occasionally gets close to a heap of bricks and broken stone, part of the fake hotel's right wing. If you were both quick and strong enough, you could run up that heap, jump onto him, and smack him out of the air. I want to do that for the thrill, but I'm not gonna. All right, I'm gonna hop up onto the command console and shut the drill down. God. Realizing that he's the only one who can protect you against Eater of Names and his Fomori, Elton shifts into his Krynos form. Well, someone has to because I can't. And charges with a... I mean, I could if I would put a dot in Hogloska Hirano. With a wild roar. 2 Fomori raise their burning lengths of rebar to attack him, and 2 Fomori fly away in mangled heaps. That gives you a clear run at the stairs. You duck a sizzling blast of balefire from the Black Spiral Dancer, then pound up the steps and skid to a halt at the command console. Okay, normal Windows laptop, old-fashioned trackball bolted to the side, not locked, running an unfamiliar industrial operation app. You don't recognize this program, but maybe there's something you can use here. You click around a few menus until a Fomor slams into you at a run, knocking you against the console. You feel the heat of its jaws, but you twist away and shove it backwards. More are coming, a wave of them, scrambling down the metal stairs towards you. Elton doesn't hesitate. He rushes the Fomori, claws burning with lightning and shadow. 2 die in as many seconds, but then they swarm him. And before you can coordinate a rescue, the Theurge starts to burn. He howls and keeps killing, Fomori spasming wildly as the lightning rips through them, even as the balefire consumes him. And then it races across Elton's entire body and he burns away. No... It's not Elton burning away, right? Oh God, did Elton die? I'm confused by the sentence. Someone help me. Theurge. Before you can coordinate a rescue, the Theurge starts to burn. He howls and keeps killing for me. Oh my God, did Elton die? Oh my God. There's a kind of targeting reticule on the screen and a way to adjust both the X and Y axis of the drill and its striking frequency. Right now it's set to 13 seconds and there's all sorts of warnings that pop up if you try to set it below 9. So you crank the Y axis all the way up and set the frequency to as low as it will go once every 2 seconds. Then you hit enter and then you run. No! Eater of Names screams, sweeping low and vaporizing the stairs behind you with his balefire. The drill bangs, 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 ripping itself free of its huge moorings. Right behind you sounds like a World War II naval engagement at point-blank range, so you shout for everyone to run as you scramble for cover. The catastrophically destabilized drill fires one last time. The force of the misaligned blow rips the entire drill apparatus out of its restraints, and as you scramble away, the metal and bone cage around the drill tears away. Most of the tower follows a few seconds later, and then you're blinded by dust as 100 tons of metal smash into the street outside the already ruined hotel. The heart of the cairn is safe. Is Elton dead? It's surprising that it took until the last chapter for Sierra to get someone killed, though I assume it's written so it's not possible. Does Elton always die, or did I, mess that up real bad? Oh my God. The answering tiger roars. The wreckage of the tower twitches. He lived with you? Well. Well, not with Sierra. Not with Sierra in charge. Crap. The answering tiger roars, the wreckage of the tower twitches, then suddenly the bane infects it, animating a twisted heap of metal. The tangle of metal springs, and for a moment you see a shape like a huge cat. Then it slams into Eater of Names and picks him out of midair. He screams in surprise and fury as the metal wraps around him and starts to crush him, his armor crackling and splintering. The metal sizzles, grows white hot, then grows green with the tiger's own sickly radioactive manifestation. You get clear as the Black Spiral Dancer screams and screams and burns and burns. Then the metal cocoon snaps shut. Nothing remains of the fallen werewolf except black ash and scraps of armor. I'm so bummed out, man. The world is smoke. Oh my god. The world is smoke and fire and reeking radioactive trash. Your nose is useless. All you smell is death. You can't see anything except blowing soot. Can't hear anything except the screams of metal. But you force yourself to concentrate on those screams. They sound like laughter. The answering tiger is laughing, and as the smoke clears just enough that you can see anything at all, you see the ruins of the metal tower, infected by the answering tiger. Even as the first bane you ever encountered infected that horse, you see a twisted, spiraling shape in the metal, curling around the heart of the cairn, preparing to feed. Jazelle, of course she lives, Jazelle, covered in blood and soot but with bright, triumphant eyes, staggers through the ruins. She holds up a glittering black chalice, and the green air shifts and churns. Then with a stunted roar, the answering tiger glides across the sky, stripes of burning black and green, reeking filth that stains the air. He's falling in one direction, towards Jazelle's black sun monstrance. She holds it high, laughing as the bane tumbles roaring into the prison. It snaps shut with a little hiss of dissipating umbral energy. Then it rattles around in Jazelle's hand a little bit. She has the answering tiger. Great. 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 Oh my god. At last, Jazelle says, the demon is mine. She holds up the monstrance. I will purify you, demon. I will make you gods. I will do what not even Christ had the courage to do. I will drag you screaming back to the throne and make you beg forgiveness for your sins, and God will take you back. And then, Jazelle, Melody says, because like you, she has a sensitive nose and she can smell the burning skin. Jazelle turns and spits directly in Melody's face. The Philodox is so taken aback that she doesn't even instantly decapitate the witch with her axe. Let me tell you what you are and what's going to happen to you, you fucking... Jazelle coughs. A pained expression crosses her face. She finally realizes her hand is burning and drops the monstrance. Oh God, she screams, holding up her hand as the black stripes crawl across it. Oh Jesus Christ. Well, don't call his name now. You just like made fun of him. You just dunked on him 2 seconds ago. She looks at her hand and her hand roars and grows fangs. Awesome. It's in me, Jazelle screams. He's inside of me. Phrasing, boom. Here, buddy, let me do you a... What? Let me do you a chest. A cheesed. I don't know what that word is. Melody says. She wrenches Jazelle onto a broken heap of bricks and hacks her fast mutating arm off at the shoulder. Jazelle screams, stumbles away, and falls against a slab of cement. Then she falls through it, shrieking and writhing as if it had the consistency of a muddy bog. She leaves a kind of plaster cast in the cement, a screaming, weeping face, twisted with hate and pain. Oh, well, so sad. What you gonna do? The arm falls and writhes on the bricks like a headless serpent. It twitches and twists for a while, nearly taking on the form of a fetal tiger. Of course it does. Hello. Couldn't have happened to a nicer lady. The Godbane... Oh wait, then it stops. It blackens and burns and hardens. Melody studies it for a second, then brings her foot down on the ruined thing, shattering it. The Godbane explodes back across the sky, a hurricane of radioactive fire, as if he had never suffered the momentary indignity of imprisonment. Catherine flickers in and out of solidity next to you. The tiger is trying to draw her back into himself, even as he prepares to feed. Not much time, Catherine says. If the answering tiger is able to devour the can, I can't say what might happen. He might become a god, a second sun, or a new moon. If Gaia is truly dead, she might conclude her decomposition, that he might bloom in her filth and become everything. Or maybe we'll get lucky and he'll choke on all that spiritual power and die, merely poisoning a single river valley. So are you going to do anything about it, or are you just going to hang around? You chose not to reify me, Sierra, Catherine says. My plan was... Your plan was too ambitious by half, I say, weaving through your legs in the body of a hefty and well-proportioned tortie. Typical Shadow Lord nonsense. Oh, Elton. Rip, buddy. This is more conceptually straightforward. We enter the answering tiger and make sure he chokes on the cairn. You're just a little spirit, Catherine says, with the same condescending expression she wore in life. Ignoring her, I tell you what you must do. As the answering tiger feeds, you are no longer subject to his deceptions, and you need no longer fear him learning about us based on who we are and what we believe. As he feeds, he is vulnerable. He is like any spirit, like the Triple King, like Squirrel or Owl or Old Man Palace. You command him with who you are, remember that, or you are lost. Then you hear confused shouting nearby. It's the rest of the pack. They've shaken off the tiger's lies, and they're running your way. But listen to me, Sierra. Though I will call upon them to guide you into the Umbra, they will not be there with you in body. And then, before you can ask more questions, the smoke burns away and, thanks to my power, you feel yourself shifting into the spirit world. For a moment, you see the Umbra as 3 distinct worlds. Above you, the Umbra of dreams and thoughts, where Catherine, the fragment of Catherine, seeks to guide you with runes and rituals, all the way to the heart of the answering tiger. All around you, the once magnificent forest of the cairn rises, shimmering through every season at once, rain and sun and snow and swirling leaves. It's beautiful. But as the leaves fall, you feel the corruption of death and darkness under your feet, the realm of the dead, where Eater of Names still screams and reaches for you with burning claws, even as he falls into the mouth of oblivion. Hot. All around you, your pack deep in concentration, and in front of you at the end of every road, the answering tiger. My god, can I see if I can get the rest of my pack killed? All of you, help guide my path. Though rallying them is often demanding, I call on my pack to help me reach Answering Tiger by whatever road they think is best. Wonder if I can get my entire pack killed. Let's go for... If we're gonna do this, let's go all the way. You howl for your pack, but hear only echoes, a flash of light, and you race through the umbral forest trying to locate it. You realize too late that it's just a cheap lure, a trick of the Answering Tiger. But now you can hear your pack, howls, prayers, chants. You follow them as the light illuminates the shifting forest. Everywhere except one patch of darkness, one stain that will never reveal itself. The tiger. You race for it, leap through umbral space, and crash into the bane. Yeah, in for a petty, in for a total party wipe. I'm down for a TPK, honestly. Always down for that. Get up, someone shouts. You stumble to your feet, shedding bricks and rubble. The fake Hotel Hampton. No, the reactor. You're in Vermont Yankee. You jump up and almost fall into a huge rectangular pool. You're in a room as big as an aircraft hangar dominated by the pool. Monitoring equipment, industrial lifts, venting and cooling apparatus, off-white metal walls and red tarps, and howls of rage and fury. Greynail is in his Krynos form, holding back a hideously swollen deer that you recognize. That's the first Bane you ever fought, the one Nin called Tekkenjot. At least you thought it was. Where the hell are you? In the Answering Tiger, you remind yourself. This isn't real. But in what way isn't it real? Come on, Holds the Dawn shouts, dragging you all the way out of the rubble. We need to regroup. We need to get back to Linus. I never should have trusted that intel. Martha lopes past in her hispo form, howling for everyone to fall back before you're overwhelmed. The humans, Saul, Pallas, and Hoblin Nash should be outside, waiting for the all-clear. But this is a mess. That Fomor is fighting Greynail to a standstill. And you feel an even more terrible presence behind it. A godlike spirit of radioactive malice. A garage door rolls up and armed guards close in, wearing gear you've never seen before. Who the hell is Neo Albion? Greynail and Holds the Dawn obviously didn't anticipate resistance this strong. You're losing. You're going to lose. You've already lost. I have abandoned pleasant fantasies, Sierra. I'm going to kill you here. Feel my hatred, which is stronger than your paltry rage. I was a god. I was nuclear fire. I will be a god again. I will eat the corpse of Gaia and shit out a new world. I'm going to be everything, and everything you know will be ash. Sierra! Another voice, the Stormcat. Remember what I told you? No, Sierra, forget. Forget and surrender. Forget your spirit, Sierra. Forget your human friends and your feeble anger and your tedious werewolf politics. They are all dust. There is only me. There is only the fire of a new world. All right. So Stormcat told me that I have to talk to him like he's a spirit. And I don't necessarily understand what that means. but I'm going to say, remember, we fight for Gaia and the Garu Nation. I don't know what I'm doing. Here we go. You shout for the others to keep going, yelling for Greynail to bring down Tech and Jot in the name of the Garu Nation and the litany, but your words seem hollow. Fear grips you. Perhaps the nation is not as strong as you hope it is. Perhaps you have already been betrayed from within. Warring impulses tear at your mind, and you know you lack the dedication to forge ahead. Isn't that true, Sierra? You know that you are weak, vacillating, and that I am the whole world. You should have bowed. You should have served. I would have given you a crown, or at least a jeweled collar, but now it is too late. I abandon this false reality, which has served to keep you fools entertained. I banish Greynail and Tekkenjat. I abolish my old home in Vermont Yankee and the humans trembling outside. I wipe it all away. I rise up like a second sun and I feed. Oh God, have I failed? I probably did. In the radioactive fires that birthed the atomic age, we humans and Garu learned to abandon the antiquated chemical assumption that nothing could truly be created or destroyed. This old alchemical belief carried down the centuries and left to infect both mundane chemistry and what we now call pop psychology, lingered even after 1945, but we, the wise, understood the truth. Sometimes things are destroyed and never come back. The dead stay dead and extinction is forever, and a new sun can rise. Sadly for the answering tiger, I cannot let that happen. Even as he feeds on the cairn, ripping into its substance and essence, spraying its divine power across the Umbra in a frenzy of carnage and lust, I prepare to act. And I will need you too, Sierra, not your rage, but the care for and curiosity about common humanity that you've demonstrated in your time here. You feel a great spiritual pull, and then your consciousness shudders because neither the answering tiger nor the stormcat are with you any longer. The tiger is entirely focused on devouring the cairn. You are outside him now, in the Umbra, as it bursts like an egg, showering you with umbral radiance. And the stormcat has taken what she needs of your spiritual essence, and as you watch, she calls upon everything left of the cairn. You see flickers of the old gods, the old Garu, as they fall into the stormcat, who wreathes herself with black lightning, and strikes, vanishing with a flash. The answering tiger is a blur of fangs and stripes, a titanic form draped across the landscape, shimmering with images of Vermont Yankee and the Battle of Graves Farm, but you see him hesitate even as he feeds. There's a strange silence across the Umbra, a tension in his godlike muscles. He's choking. The stormcat has given herself to the answering tiger, has vanished down his umbral throat, and she's stuck. The radioactive nightmare writhes and bangs across the spiritscape, eyes burning. Banes flock around him in a panic as their god falls, and falls. The answering tiger is both outside the ruins of the cairn, devouring it, and within the cairn. He is both in the fading dream of the Broadbrook Garu's attack on Vermont Yankee and creating it. Mad with pain and fear, he is both inside and outside himself, a writhing paradox. And the Umbra starts to deform around him. Dying, panicking, he rips holes in every world with his claws, struggling to remain upright even as he sinks. Sierra! Black Tarn, you follow the shouts before you're dragging down into oblivion with the dying Bane. God. Twisted metal and burning plastic, you open your eyes and blink away dust. The tower sways at an obscene angle in the bitter winter wind. The answering tiger and stormcat are both gone. Oh no. You feel a great spiritual... I did this so bad. I messed up. So Stormcat just cleaned up your mess of picking the wrong conviction. Yeah, well, I'm the worst. I don't know why anyone lets me pick anything. I'm the worst. What was my conviction about Garu Nation? Right? Oh, I didn't have either of those things. I should have been with the humans, right? We should go help the humans or something. Oh God, I'm the worst. I don't know. You feel a great spiritual void, not the emptiness at the heart of the can, but a stiffness in your limbs, as if you've suddenly become an old woman. Hot. The green flames gutter out, leaving only black smoke and 100 fires scattered across the false Northampton. Without the answering tiger, the streets seem even cheaper and more false. Crude bricks and particle board, unpaved muddy roads, construction notes in spray paint on the walls and ceilings. Stumps here and there. The hotel's collapse has triggered broad-ranging destruction from which stats may never recover. Fire trucks are trying to enter the false city through the east gate through which you entered stats, but the police have thrown up a barricade and won't let anyone through. An ice wind whips up the fires and more buildings start to burn. Everywhere, poisoned earth and devastation. The cold air burns your face. Podge hugs you close. Melody sifts through wreckage, then pulls a ring out of a pile of ashes. I'm sorry, Elton, she whispers, holding the ring close. Then, to your surprise, Lucinda's van rolls down the street from the west. Its lights out. But to your surprise, it's Hoblin driving. To your surprise. He says, you missed the fighting. You look around. You most assuredly did not. Oh no, they got Lucinda, Hoblin says. It was a bunch of state police. They shot right into the crowd. I'm sorry, she's dead. Oh my god. I'm the best. The silence stretches for a moment, but what is there to say? Lucinda was a warrior for Gaia, even though she was only a human. Sometimes warriors fall. Exhausted, you crawl away from the huge ruined pile of the false hotel into the van. The city is eerily quiet as you pass through it, heading for Elton's flat. You miss the riots. The police have left the dead in the streets. You count at least 5, though you don't see Lucinda's among them. But on the other hand, you don't see many cops either. The roadblocks are gone. You pass a Bearcat, one of those huge urban counterinsurgency vehicles just abandoned on the side of the road. Elsewhere, barricades are overturned and deserted. Maybe they're all regrouping at stats, or maybe they're just gone. You'll probably find out tomorrow morning, but right now you're so bone-tired that you don't even realize you're asleep until you feel Podge helping you up the stairs and dropping you on Elton's couch. The loss of the cairn is significant, but the Garu are always more than their sacred places. The reign of horror over which Eater of Names presided has ended in disgrace for countless overambitious politicians, businessmen, and bureaucrats, and every other Garu in Massachusetts is going to have their hands full until summer, keeping the truth from regular humans as indictments roll in. The funerals for Black Tarn died too. The funerals for Black Tarn, Elton, and Lucinda go by in a blur of grief and loss. You lose yourself in the organizational necessities, and when they're done, you realize you don't remember anything about them. After all that loss, Nin starts making plans for a Hogthrone show and end of winter blowout. That might be a good place for the Broadbrook Garu to make plans about what happens next. The cairn is gone. Does the pack stay together? Why would I head anywhere of these Why? Are we not done? Is it not done? Are we not done? I head to the last Throg show of the season for what we're going to do next. Are we not finished? Is it not over? Someone tell me if there's like a ton more, because I'm going to stop right here because I'm devastated. I'm devastated. I need to know, is this over or not? I need to know how much longer they will be going, because this is insane. Just epilogue. All right, then I'm heading right to Hogthrone because, like, what the hell? That we all deserve punishment by horror is as mystifying as it is undeniable. To be an accomplice, however involuntary, in a reasonless non-reality is cause enough for the harshest sentencing. But we have been trained so well to accept the order of an unreal world that we do not rebel against it. How could we? Where pain and pleasure form a corrupt alliance against us, paradise and hell are merely different divisions in the same monstrous bureaucracy. Thomas Ligotti, The Conspiracy Against the Human Race. Gaia alone knows how Hogthrone booked the Academy of Music, especially for its first show after Eater of Names almost burned it down. But there are flyers all over town, and your text alerts all tell you the show is this Friday in the middle of Northampton. A good lineup, Heir to the Cannon, St. Homunculus, Romefall, and Staff Chick. And your pack, of course, they'll be there, except for Elton, who's dead. Life is quiet when you're not double-checking numbers for Acetone Industries, but you can feel things ramping up again as you conduct your lupus form patrols and homid form investigations. Though the cairn is dead, you are not, and neither are the other Garu all over the world. They seem to know something has shifted in the spiritual makeup of the valley, and you've caught glimpses of lupine shapes in the woods. Garu, spirits, fallen werewolves, you'll need to find out. The Broadbrook Garu were deceived, but our goal was to learn from the mistakes our elders made. What do we know? The old Broadbrook got outmaneuvered and outsmarted. In the days of their strength, they defeated and contained not just physical threats, including countless Fomori, but also spiritual dangers and temptations from Banes like Tekkenjat and Black Spiral dancers like Breaker of Wings. You expected Sierra to die right away. Me too. But they could not fight against... I just got everyone else killed. Don't worry about it. But they could not fight against an enemy they could not see clearly, and Eater of Names exploited that, using the answering tiger to blind them and let them destroy themselves. Then he repeated the trick with Daphne Clear and very nearly the rest of you. But you think you understand him now and how to fight this new kind of threat. Over the past 2 years, you've studied Eater of Names both by his actions and his writings, and your pack has a clear understanding of both his methods and his long-term plans to blind the world, keeping humanity paralyzed and ignorant as the last of Gaia rots away. You have enough in the Book of September to keep other Black Spiral dancers with other deceiver spirits from franchising and repeating the trick Eater of Names played on the Broadbrook Garu. The hardest part will be getting other Garu to listen. The enemies of Gaia have developed a genuinely new weapon, and even with Eater of Names defeated, they're going to try again. You'll need to organize the book and make sure other Garu understand the danger before it's too late. Yeah, the rest of the world is for later. What about the Valley right now? How are people doing? The Valley has started to recover from the quiet horror of the provincial council. The governor has assigned an acting mayor and ordered her to reopen schools and work with the Massachusetts National Guard. It's not clear if she's actually allowed to do that, but she did it. Elections are in 2 weeks, but cleanup will take longer. Allies of the provincial government still have positions in local companies and municipal governments, and they can still cause damage without Eater of Names. The new police chief is giving people their stolen cars back. Any police officers caught on camera committing literal murder have been reassigned to other apartments. Of course, that makes sense. Oh my god. Progress! And Stats is dead. At least it's dead here. There are plans to restart the project with all its environmental degradation and social upheaval in Maine. A lot of people got hurt. I'm going to coordinate with Podge to help them. Yes. Podge always likes to bang on about the material element of Garu political life, and in this case, he's right. The provincial council sucked millions of dollars out of the valley, and that wealth is just gone. You and other Garu need to step in and help because people are broken and desperate. You're going to have to work with your entire pack to get people back on their feet. Your thoughts turn to them. The loss of the cairn has shaken the Broadbrook Garu to the core. Stolen from them 5 years ago, it became their focus after you restored them one by one. My god, I failed so hardcore, and Kyle is just hammering it in. But now with it gone, you're not sure what the pack wants or even if the pack will remain a pack. Disparate goals pull at them now, and without a cairn, they are not as strongly bound to the valley as they once were. You spend all day sketching out your vague plans for the future, but as the sun sets, it's time for the show. My god. It's an unexpectedly warm March night. The crowd spills from the main doors of the Academy of Music out into the adjacent park, smoking and laughing. You say hello to familiar faces, the waitress who gave you a bowl of sambar soup your first day in Manhattan. A crust punk who stood in line behind you at the first Hog Throne show. She has a kid now, a plump little girl in a Ramones onesie. Where would you bring her? It's going to be too loud. The guy who used to deal meth out of the 7-Eleven, now a reformed straight-edge anti-fash, sort of crazy zealous about it, but a nice guy. He's dating the bike courier you've seen all over the valley. A lot of people crawled out of the pit after the cult of Fenris fell, and Podge has been especially willing to help them rebuild their lives. You say hello to everyone, but these aren't really your people. You head inside, past the concession area, hastily transformed into a wine bar. That's where Hog Throne makes its money now, a far cry from its BYOB days. You poke your head in to check out the band. The last time you saw that stage, Eater of Names was trying to kill you. Right now, Heir to the Cannon, one of the Valley's 3 Jedi core bands, this one 9 Inch Nails themed, is finishing up the perfect Doug to booze and thrown bottles. Sierra! I thought Black Tarn was dead. So now that we're going to start Night Row with Sierra Cade's safest ferret? No. Next will probably... Well, it depends what comes next. Whichever releases first, because I don't know the release dates. They haven't been announced yet. But either The Reckoning of New York or Beast of Glencaldove, whichever comes first. I thought Black Tarn was dead. We had a funeral with Black Tarn. Did we not? Am I losing my mind? Black Tarn weaves through the crowd looking only a little out of place. There are actually a lot of batty old ladies here. Did we not have a funeral with Black Tarn, Elton, and Lucinda? Did they not say that? I thought I'd see what young people were up to. You look like you've been thinking, she says. She switches to the primal tongue despite the crowd so the two of you can discuss Garu matters. People are so hurt, you say. Spiritually, economically, I want to help them. I respect your intentions, Black Tarn says, but I'm not sure that's a good idea. The city is shattered, its people beaten without honor or dignity. They will fight you if you try to help them. A final crash from the stage as people get sick of the Jedi core band. What about you? I might go back west, Black Tarn says. There are, people I need to avenge. Northern New York has no one to protect it. I wonder if my final battle awaits back there. It said she died! This is a mistake! Or did Answering Tiger win and we're all living in some weird reality? Melody and Podge are in the crowd as St. Homunculus sets up. St. Homunculus opens with Ghost Ladder, a song that makes Toxic Waltz sound like Claire de Lune. That opens up the pit. You avoid the knot of thrashing moshers. You're only a werewolf and you don't want to die in there, and head for your packmates. There's Hoblin quietly standing guard. You maneuver through the crowd towards your fellow Garu. Hey, Sierra, Melody says. You can barely hear her over the thrashing guitar and hammering drums. It's hot in here, and the Philodox is wearing a black denim jacket over a vermilion sundress. Guys are already starting to bother her, like flies trying to settle upon a mighty wildebeest. Everyone is making plans. She fills you in whenever the thrashing fades a little. With so much space available, Melody wants to find even more allies from other Garu packs. It will, of course, take great honor to expand your pack. I mean, who hasn't died and come back off screen at least once? Seeing the damage in the valley has suffered at the hands of the provincial council, Podge wants to hunt down the humans who perpetrated these atrocities and see justice done. Not vengeance, but justice to prevent it from happening again. Taking the fight to humans with power will take great glory, you know. Getting the information you've gained from the Book of Hungry Names to other Garu is what Elton would have wanted, and Nin wants to help. She's no scholar, but she's a Galliard. She can move information around. As the Philodox talks, you can feel fault lines within the pack. The quest to restore the cairn held you all together, but what will happen now? I don't know, but why is this still continuing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What is happening? The thrash metal fades out in a wave of distorted guitars and roaring vocals. It's good to be here, Trevor says. We've got some stuff from our new album. I'm sorry, I don't sound like a jerk, but I really don't care. I really don't care about any of this. What's happening? What are we doing? I don't care about anything going on at Hogthrone. I could care less. Sorry, Nin. No offense. All right. We bring the human thieves, polluters, and despoilers. And also, I'm really, really hot. Achievement. No rules, only vibes. Never use storyteller mode. Thank you. Congrats. That's the achievement I just got. Never use storyteller mode. You've made up your mind, but all that is for tomorrow. Right now, you listen to St. Homunculus. No, I don't care about St. Homunculus. I'm so sorry. I don't care. I just lost the cairn and some of my friends, and for some reason, one of my friends who I just buried is suddenly alive again, and no one thinks that's weird but me. So, yeah, I spent a few minutes with Podge. Yep. Podge is at the bar, proudly showing off his ID that says he's 21, his real ID for once. He prefers beer, but when Marlon gives him coupons for a free mixed drink at the increasingly expensive Hogthrone bar, he cashes one right away. You find him as he sips his Gen Con. Okay. Blue Caraco vodka, half and half Mountain Dew. Gross, Podge says, brushing off the lint off his shirt. It reads, keep the Yanbian Korean Autonomous Prefecture weird. This might be the worst thing that's ever happened to me, that's happened to anyone. A local restaurant ordered too much Blue Curaçao and they've unloaded it on us. What do you want? Can I get a margarita? Margarita's my favorite, is what I would order. Blargarita, the bartender says. Before you can stop her, she serves you an electric blue mix of Curaçao, tequila, and lime with some disappointingly not blue salt on the rim. So how are the desperate and the downtrodden? Where can two good-looking werewolves fool around in a place like this? Well, Podge said, whoa, you know, may as well. Podge says, running his hand over yours. First, we gotta take our medicine. You both slam your drinks. Podge coughs, laughs, and hooks his arm in with yours. You veer around the thrashing mosh pit and find yourself stage right, where you and he kiss quietly, enjoying the opportunity to lean against a wall that isn't entirely covered in beer and half-peeled-off band stickers. Am I even allowed to be in a place this nice? Podge says, like as a bone gnawer. You shut him up with another kiss. His hands run down your back. Podge can get a little bit shameless in public, but he doesn't want to get in trouble with Hogthrone High Command, so he doesn't quite rip your clothes off. After 2 or 3 songs of fooling around and laughing in the darkness, the Arun kisses you one last time, then pulls you back towards the rest of the pack. But there's no easy way to reach Melody's table, so you stop a few more times, saying hello to people you know, Podge knows everyone, and chatting about your plans. The Arun seems to view this whole "a cub shows up from New York and blows up the cairn" event as an important but not really essential 3-year adventure in his long-term plans for both humans and Garu. That's what it is. A cub shows up from New York and blows up the cairn. That's the summation of this entire playthrough. He talks about major political plans for Rosemary Street, expanding as a kind of nonconformist political zone, the various incomprehensible to outsiders left beefs he's had with anarchists and left liberals who also operate on the street. Then there are computer security issues he's worried about, large-scale plans to renovate the Beninsky estate, and maybe open it up to more people, maybe more Garu, and 100 other things. Podge stays busy. Good for him. The pack's conversation ranges all over, so craziest thing you saw since you guys woke up again, what is it? For me, Melody says, definitely Dr. Vandegrift. He didn't know about werewolves, and he was so smug about it. Then split, the wolf fucking moth Teufel just pounds him into the dirt. She does a little demonstration with a coaster and a breath mint. What about getting our brains scrambled by the answering tiger? And then says, I'm not still sure we really won. You know what? Me neither. Here's to never knowing whether or not your entire life is a lie, Podge says, holding up his beer. Laughing, the others drink the essentially unknowable nature of consciousness. What about you? Nin asks Podge. Oh, the drone, Podge says. Have you read the stuff he wrote about consciousness? A whole different perspective on Gaia, the triad, all of it. I'm so glad we fried him, but that guy was weird as hell. As Romefall finishes up, Podge orders another round and everyone looks at you. The whole thing with Jazelle. Yeah, Giselle's is weird. She's dead, right? Melody asks. Oh god, I don't know. I think it takes more than that to kill someone like Jazelle, Nen says. She's a monster too. One more problem, Melody says, sipping her wine. From Jazelle, the conversation ranges to other occultists, to crises from before you came to the valley, to Elijah Ware's pumpkin cult, to worrying ritual behavior from the desperate and lost on Rosemary Street. As Romefall finishes to thunderous applause and the shallow fix, a psychedelic garage rock outfit takes over. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So sorry, I can't. I mean, there's been so, I understand Kyle must be a huge music fan. There's been so much of this. I can't anymore. As the night continues, there's food, drink, dancing, shouting for encores. 2 fights break out, but they're not serious. There's an OD scare in the bathroom, but it's just an old hippie who rocked too hard in the mosh pit and passed out. Yep, too many Garu make the mistake of trying to fight the worm. The worm is an abstraction. Evil lives in the heart of regular humans. The worm, whatever it is, amplifies that darkness. Banes infect the depraved, the sadistic, and the greedy, and they don't corrupt. They don't make people that way. People do it to themselves, and they need to be stopped before it's too late. Even as you and Podge makes plans to tie up loose ends among the human acolytes of Fenris, the most vicious members of the police in Neo-Albion, and various corporations, you start to hear more and more news from other Garu. You have, of course, shared everything you can from Book of September and everything you can safely share from Book of Hungry Names. Nin has traveled all over New England to make contact and warn other Garu. The warning is clear and concise. Beware of the lies of Banes. Beware of these new kinds of black spiral dancers. Behind that concise warning is a huge amount of research, analysis, and spiritual wisdom. You try not to feel too proud when Garu appear at Broadbrook in 1s and 2s to thank the local Garu for their help. In Cape Cod, his spirit, like the Triple King, fell to the worm. But the Garu there caught it before he could spread lies through Provincetown's human occult community and turn a much larger town into another ashfield. In Connecticut, Garu, who knew the fallen Deercross pack, report that a black spiral dancer tried to take over a local public TV station. They dealt with him and his tricks, thanks to the information your pack uncovered. If the worm thinks, he must be thinking his brilliant new strategy isn't working out so well, because you and your fellow Garu are all over him. Organizing the list of targets takes most of your time every day, and it's almost too late when you realize that your pack has scattered. Podge is always there, of course, running down leads, but the constant presence of the others just isn't there anymore. Melody has practically disappeared into the barrows. Nin roams increasingly far afield. When St. Homunculus goes on tour, she joins them. She stays in contact via email, but she's gone for weeks. One day, Black Tarn, who is not dead apparently, abruptly returns to New York. The pack has finished its great work of stopping Eater of Names, but now the other Garu have gone their separate ways to lead their separate lives. Womp womp. Your big question is where these new human threats are coming from. The mad scientist Dr. Vandegrift dead, Director Sullivan dead, Captain Hutcherson dead, Henrik dead, Jazelle in hiding. What a Chemicon. You destroyed the Night of the Stolen Moon, but Chemicon has existed for decades, even though it's in liquidation now. People still run it. What do you do? What do you want from me? Bad people you expected for several months of careful research, you learn an astonishing amount of the secretive inner circle at Chemicon. They aren't just responsible for Chemicon, they control a diverse portfolio that includes Everlight. Yeah. They call them the Society of the Fly. You mean like Pentex? It's one of those jokes, but not really. Like how the Bohemian Grove crowd likes to pretend to perform silly rituals, but not silly at all. You and Podge organize a portfolio of names and faces, learn when the Society of the Fly, Pentex, is meeting next, and one hot June night with the full moon riding high in the sky, pay them a visit. Achievement, second quest, begin your second grade adventure on the right footing. They're meeting at a hotel in Holyoke that doesn't advertise. Now that's impressive. You didn't know your little valley was rich or important enough to host a place like this. The building is a flat, sheer glass surface reflecting the decaying industrial city and the black water of the Connecticut River. Security is excellent, of course. You and Podge have no problem with them. The Society of the Fly is enjoying their cocktail hour when you shift into your glabro form and barge in through the mirrored double doors. You hear two "who the fuck are yous?" and one slur. One woman just stands up and walks out. She knows what you are. She's the one you want. I know who she is. An older man says, she's Sierra, guy as deadly as a weasel. He's obviously wearing a revolver. I've killed things like this before. I'm going to teach all of you a little thing about the world tonight. He draws his revolver, and you catch the glint of silver a half second before Podge, stationed in the high-rise opposite, puts a bullet through his head. Maces are supposed to be for armored opponents, but the security guards are only wearing jackets, and they explode like microwaved piglets when you hit them. The Society of the Fly members fare no better. Oh god, oh fuck. The woman who tried to escape screams. Podge puts a round in her knee, blowing her leg off at the ankle. What do you want? She's dragging herself into the office. You slip inside just as she hits the panic button and the door crashes down. Answers, you say, noting the obscene glyph on the far wall. But the Society of the Fly. She's still dragging herself away from you, leaving a blood trail all over the polished marble floor, then the beautiful carpet. I'll tell you anything, you... She reaches the revolver hidden in her desk. You flick the mace at her. Her head explodes and she falls backwards. Jesus. You retrieve the mace, then find the door lock controls so Podge can see you. It's a busy old-fashioned desk covered in papers. There's even a landline. This is it, you whisper. I can see it already. It's full of names and positions and literally dozens of companies all over the world. It's time to introduce ourselves to this Pentex group. Oh man, do you like to see the bad good ending, considering I somehow got the full pack and allies achievement? Oh, really? That's, you got, yeah, well, obviously, 10. My email is, this so everyone can know, because I have it everywhere. That's exactly my name. Yes. You know, you don't have to. I will know. I don't know. Okay. Yes, this is incredible. Incredible game. I failed it spectacularly. Obviously, Jerry in the chat played it exactly how you're supposed to play it. I played it wrong. And I got the bad ending. But I love the ending with the Pentex group. I knew it was Society of the Fly at Super Pentex. Amazing game. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to go through it privately with achievements, try and get all the achievements. I've tried to do that with all the Choice of games. Amazing. We did so many parts. I think we did 22 parts altogether because I'm crazy. But I'm so happy. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Choice of Games. This is incredible. Dex and Intelligence just does really well here, and Night Road. Yeah, Night Road's amazing. I love that. I also got like the endings I wanted in Night Road as well. My first time through this, I was just doing whatever I felt like would be fun, and it ends up being bad. Me having fun is bad. But thank you everyone so much. I'm melting. I'm literally melting because it's like 35 degrees in my apartment. And thank you so much. There'll be no new streams until I have something to stream, or until, you know, maybe me and Outstar stream something like a community update or something for Spotlight. But I don't think we'll be doing any more streams until October, unfortunately. But maybe there will be. Keep eye on the socials. We usually announce it if there will be a stream. And thank you. You've been amazing. Jerry, thank you for showing up for almost every single stream. You've been awesome. I'm calling you out personally. I'll see you next time when New York does something. Yeah. And thank you so much, everyone. Have an awesome weekend. I'm hyped. Bye, everybody.